I don't think so, sir.
If you don't give me your ID, I'm going to arrest you for resisting arrest.
I need it. You're going to be arrested for obstructing.
You know what people would respect?
What would they respect?
If somebody said, hey, I effed up, I made a mistake.
I know. Can I just get a P number or an event number from you? What do you mean no?
The crosswalk right there. What did I do?
No crosswalk right there.
What did I do?
You know what's funny is you're going to get f***ed up hardcore.
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. In 2022, a viewer named Alan noticed Deputy Lowry of the Volusia County Sheriff's Office talking to a couple individuals sitting on the sidewalk, and upon observing the interaction, Alan crossed the street to remind them that they have a right to remain silent.
You're under no obligation to answer any of his questions.
What did you say?
You're under no obligation to answer any of your questions.
Are you serious?
Yep, it's called Fifth Amendment.
Oh, really? How would
sir.
you know that?
I've watched.
And you know what? I have the right to ask you a question. I need to see your ID because you didn't cross that street in a crosswalk. I need to see your ID right now. I need to see your ID.
I don't think so, sir.
If you don't give me your ID, I'm going to arrest you for resisting arrest. You crossed the street.
For resisting arrest.
Resisting or impeding.
Where's their car?
This is a roadway.
There's no traffic.
This is a
Where
roadway.
am I impeding?
Deputy Lowry's frustration was so intense that he began speaking nonsense, first claiming he would arrest Alan for resisting arrest for refusing to ID.
I need to see your ID.
I don't think so, sir.
If you don't give me your ID, I'm going to arrest you for resisting arrest.
At this point, Alan was not under arrest, but even if he were, which will become important in a moment, Florida happens to be a stop and ID state. There are many misconceptions about what the phrase stop and ID means. Often, it is interpreted as a state in which one must surrender their identification on the mere request of law enforcement. This is false. Stop and ID state simply means that the state has created a statutory offense for refusing to identify. However, all stop and ID statutes require a minimum of reasonable suspicion to demand ID. States that have not passed legislation regarding refusing to identify will often charge a person with resist, obstruct, delay if they are found to have resisted a lawful demand to identify themselves. In these states, reasonable suspicion is also required. Texas, on the other hand, can only demand identification during a lawful traffic stop or if a person has been arrested. Deputy Lowry now incorrectly corrects his goof by telling Alan that he will be arrested for resisting or impeding the flow of traffic.
I need to see your ID.
I don't think so, sir.
If you don't give me your ID, I'm going to arrest you for resisting arrest. You crossed the street.
For resisting arrest.
Resisting or impeding.
Where's their car?
Florida has several regulations regarding when one can and cannot cross a street. To better illustrate, here is an excerpt of a video I did 2 years ago when the Palm Beach Gardens police attempted a similar form of retaliation against Acura Amanda as she was approaching the scene of a traffic collision.
Oh, look at this. How the hell are you gonna close the sidewalk right here? They do it on purpose, trying to set up Acura.
This intersection is North Lake Boulevard and Burma Road. From the satellite view, we can see that it is an intersection with an unmarked crosswalk. This is an example of a marked crosswalk with traffic control signals. Notice the concrete walkway here, constructed to allow pedestrian access to the street without walking through grass. Let's go back to Burma. This is an unmarked crosswalk. Notice the same concrete walkway, but lack of paint. This would be considered a legal place to cross by any reasonable human. Amanda uses the walkway, yields to traffic, and crosses North Lake Boulevard.
All right, here I go, guys. Look at this shit. Oh, look at this, guys. See, they're gonna f with me now. See, they're gonna f with me. The sidewalk was closed.
I need your license or identification.
You're just doing this because I'm filming you guys. The sidewalk is closed right there.
I have no idea who you are.
The sidewalk is closed right
then
there.
You go back to the crosswalk and you cross in the crosswalk.
I can't walk that far, sir.
That's not my problem. You had to turn back and go to a crosswalk.
Okay, where's the crosswalk? All the way down there?
At MacArthur, yes. If you don't give us your information, we have nothing. We can't do anything other than do our job. So, look at me.
Or what?
You're gonna be arrested.
No!
Put it down.
Amanda was arrested and spent almost 2 hours locked up. The only charge upon her release was for jaywalking, a $65 fine. The problem with the charge is statute 316.130, which covers pedestrians, traffic regulations, and has at least 4 spots that describe her actions as legal. Subsection 9 is the first mention of an unmarked crosswalk. Subsection 10 states that every pedestrian crossing a roadway at any point other than within a marked crosswalk or within an unmarked crosswalk in an intersection shall yield the right-of-way to all vehicles upon the roadway, which indicates that her crossing the intersection is legal as long as she yields to vehicles. Subsection 12 defines the manner in which one must cross at an unmarked crosswalk, requiring the crossing to be at a 90-degree angle. This concept is further explained in subsection 14. Getting back to Alan's interaction featuring Deputy Lowry, with an understanding of the statute, we can now take a look at the street that he just crossed, filmed by Twisted Luck Truth, who visited the scene almost a year after Alan crossed the road.
Came from over here, right? Down there. We have a crosswalk at that intersection, right? It came from over here, but what's right here? Right here. This is just a dead end, right? So this isn't even a through road. This is just a driveway to this gas station and this building over here. And the law says you have to cross at a crosswalk if you are between 2 intersections that have crosswalks.
Now that it is crystal clear that Alan in no way, shape, or form violated 316.130, let's determine if Deputy Lowry was enforcing the statute or if he was acting in bad faith to violate Alan's civil rights because of his perceived contempt.
I have the right to ask you a question. I need to see your ID because you didn't cross that street in a crosswalk. I need to see your ID right now. I need to see your ID.
I don't think so, sir.
If you don't give me your ID, I'm going to arrest you for resisting arrest. You crossed the
For
street.
resisting arrest.
Resisting or impeding.
Where's their car?
This is a roadway.
There's no traffic.
This is a
Where
roadway.
am I impeding? I'll take this charge. Where am I impeding?
You're going to identify yourself.
After Alan's arrest, it becomes clear that Deputy Lowry has been misinterpreting or manipulating the statute to initiate an incident for years, as he now says that he was stopping the others he had detained for the same thing.
Probably 64 Central. Show me with the white male detained. Send me another unit. So you really think that I don't have a right? That it's legal to cross without a crosswalk?
How's anybody else supposed to get over
The crosswalk down there. That's the reason I was stopping her.
There's traffic.
What's that? I'm not debating this with you. I'm telling you what the Florida law says. That when you cross the street in Florida, that you have to cross at a crosswalk. Anything other than that is a pedestrian violation. So that's why I was talking to her. And then you wanted to insert yourself in the conversation. So do you want to go to jail for resisting an officer in the presence of my official duties, or do you want to identify yourself? Because when you go to jail, if you don't identify yourself, you will be booked under John Doe. And that vehicle that you just came through, probably will be towed. Giving you the opportunity.
Alan was arrested and spent 12 hours in jail before bonding out. At his first court appearance, he pleaded not guilty and was issued a public defender. Immediately after, the case was dismissed. About a year later, he was watching James Madison audits and heard a familiar voice. Volusia County sheriffs were on the scene of an alleged retail theft, and after quietly watching from a considerable distance, James asked one of the deputies for an incident number.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
They'll do Apple Pay? Yeah. Oh, cool. All right, thank you. Hey, Deputy, sorry to bug you.
Yep, we gotta go.
I know. Can I just get a P number or an event number from you? What do you mean no? Why no? Sir, why no? Yeah, I just need
Yeah, you don't need one.
just the last four
Yeah,
of
you
the...
can call the sheriff's office. None of your business.
Why are you a dickhead?
I'm not a dickhead. Why are you calling me a dickhead?
I'm doing a public records request for you.
You can do that through the sheriff's office.
I'm doing it to you directly. Florida Statute 119 allows me to do that.
Call the sheriff's
Do you have a
office.
supervisor for a complaint? That's a close one. Holy sh**. Do you mind? Do you mind if I get that case number?
Now I turn to the other deputy to attempt to get a case number or information or even a supervisor. However, he waves and just drives off.
Seeing Deputy Lowry in that video inspired Alan to reach out to a few channels, and he ended up sending his video to Twisted Luck, as he lived in the area as well. Twisted Luck went down to film the scene, and it just so happens that Deputy Lowry was there.
How you doing?
Hey, good.
You're Deputy Lowry, right?
I am.
You are.
I am.
You understand the crosswalk laws, right? The
Or, do
statutes.
you have a specific question for me? Because I don't want to engage you in it.
Well, yeah. Well, would I have to use a crosswalk to cross the street right here?
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah.
Do you need anything?
I'm curious on this Florida
Yeah.
statute because I don't want to violate any laws. I want to cross the street
and
right
I
here.
know why you're asking me this.
Right.
Yeah.
Do I have to use a crosswalk here, or do I have to go down there?
No, you don't have to use a crosswalk.
So I could
here.
cross right here?
You sure can.
So did you make a mistake?
Are you asking me a question about a case that's pending?
I'm just asking if you made a mistake.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No. If you got any other questions, you can contact the sheriff's office.
So you didn't arrest somebody for crossing
Do you
the
have
street
any other
here?
questions about that?
Do you know when you have the lawful
gonna
right
talk
to
about
ID
that.
somebody?
Yeah,
Why
I do.
not?
I do.
You know what people would respect?
What would they respect?
If somebody said, hey, I effed up, I made a mistake.
I'm just not going to talk to you about it, okay? I can't.
So if,
I can't
let's
talk to
just
you
say
about it.
hypothetically, we won't talk about that case. If a law enforcement officer,
What's your name, by the way?
you
don't have to tell me.
Right,
I'm
I know.
asking you.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's just common courtesy. You know my name.
Right, yeah, I know, but just for example, hypothetically, right? But we're not going to talk about any pending case. If we were in a different city somewhere, in this
Listen,
identical spot,
I'm not going to sit here and
if I cross the street,
I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry.
It's about ego.
I'm sorry. It's not about ego.
It is about ego.
No, it's
you know
about
what you didn't like?
filming me, and then you're going to put some stuff on the internet and then get clicks.
I can't make you look bad. I can't make you look bad or good. I can only hold the camera.
You can't.
That's all I can do.
Right, but
So you can shine or you can look bad. Either way, all I do is hold the camera.
Right.
I think that day what happened, you didn't like that he told those people they had a Fifth Amendment right.
What day are you talking about?
The day you were talking to the people here on the curb and you arrested the gentleman for crossing the street. I have the date. I can get it. I have to stop recording now. I've got the charge and affidavit. I've got everything on it. But you remember the day. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what date you're talking about.
Well, you remember the incident.
I don't know what incident you're talking about.
Okay.
I know why you're asking me this.
Right. Okay, well, let's just say if somebody walked up and crossed the street right here as you were
Like you
talking
just
to
did, he's
people.
good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you already asked me that question.
So it would be a crazy person for a cop to say, hey, give me your ID. You can't do that here. You have to use a crosswalk, right?
Yeah.
That would be a crazy cop to have to do that.
Yeah, but if you cross at an angle, maybe that wouldn't be so crazy, right?
But
you know what's even crazier?
To take
Like
law enforcement action.
Hey, but you know what's even crazier, though?
What's that?
It's like what you did. You were perfectly fine, right? You waited, and I seen you standing over there.
Right.
And you waited until I was done.
I'm not going to walk. Right.
Right. But you know what's even crazier is if somebody let's stand over here. It's like, if you would have ran in there while I was talking to that young lady and you had no idea what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, if I would have ran up. Yeah, no, I don't want to.
That's what's even crazier. When you do stuff like that, that's kind of rude, right?
Me?
No, you didn't
I
do
don't
that.
stuff.
No,
Right.
you did not do that. Right. That's what's kind of crazy.
But that incident that you don't remember, did he run up to you?
I don't know. You know about it. I don't know what incident you're talking about. I know why you're asking me this.
Right. What's on video?
You haven't even said it.
You know what I'm talking about. I explained it to you. You said you have no idea what I'm talking about. People sitting right here on the curb. Gentlemen crossed the road.
Why do you want me to talk about that?
They said, and the guy said you have the Fifth Amendment right.
Why don't we talk about today?
Why are you avoiding it? Because it's a problem. Because I'm a member of the public, and it's concerning to the public when law enforcement officers.
I can't talk about it. I cannot talk about it.
We're not talking about it.
Right.
I said a hypothetical situation, and you agreed that if I crossed the road right here, and you stopped me and said, "Hey, I need your ID," you can't do that. Only a crazy cop would do that. That's what you just agreed to.
I would say crazy, but you just can't do that.
Not educated on the laws.
If you cross.
Right. If you cross the street, right?
You don't bag.
Right.
The silly thing about it is that this isn't an isolated incident. It appears to happen fairly often, as neither the general public or law enforcement understand the many nuances of these statutes.
Body camera video appears to show him beating a man accused of jaywalking. This footage was leaked to the Asheville Citizen-Times. It shows then Officer Chris Hickman allegedly hitting and tasing Johnny Jermaine Rush.
He asked you nicely to stop.
All I'm trying to do is go home, man. Damn, y'all ain't got better to do besides harass somebody about fucking walking.
Put your hands behind your back.
After a brief scuffle, Rush takes off.
A black male, white tank top, thinks it's funny. You know what's funny is you're gonna get up hardcore. Get on the ground.
Once Hickman and another officer catch up to Rush.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Hickman appears to hit him in the head repeatedly, then tase him.
Ah! Lie down. Ow! I can't!
The confrontation took place last August. Asheville police say they received a use of force complaint and removed Hickman from patrol the next day, then launched an internal affairs investigation and informed the district attorney. The DA's office says it chose not to file charges in September so the investigation could continue. In December, police returned with 3 new videos related to Officer Hickman's use of force. He resigned in January. Hickman's arrest comes 2 months after he resigned from Asheville Police and more than 6 months after his alleged assault of Rush. But people here want to know why that arrest took so long when the incident was caught on tape.
Officer used a taser 3 times on a Stone Mountain man during a jaywalking arrest.
2 officers drive up to John Eford walking across Holcomb Bridge Road in March of last year. Both get out of their vehicles, tasers in hand.
The crosswalk right there. What did I do?
No crosswalk right there.
What did I do? Get out!
Officers order him to the ground, saying they'll tase him. Officers used a taser on Eford 3 times before he was handcuffed.
What did I do? He have not told me anything, sir.
You jaywalked again, right in front of us again, bro.
When the solicitor's office reviewed the video and saw that my client committed no crime, they dropped all charges.
Patterson believes the force used to arrest Eford was unwarranted for something that could have been a ticket.
My client was in a fetal position saying, "Please don't shoot me."
Gwinnett County Police say one of the officers involved, Charles Bynum, later resigned from the department while under investigation for a separate incident. 1 month before this arrest, Bynum was arrested for false imprisonment, making terroristic threats, and battery of his domestic partner. In the police report, officers wrote the victim had a recording of Bynum saying, "They're on my team," when the victim threatened to call police.
The second officer involved in the arrest is still employed with the department. The department also says it cannot comment on active lawsuits.
Despite the statutes often being abused, it's likely that they were created with good intention. In the early 1900s, the streets of New York were considered public space. In 1915, the automobile industry campaigned relentlessly to coin the phrase jaywalker in an attempt to claim the city streets as belonging to motor vehicles. Fast forward to the 1950s, and New York City had nearly 1.5 million registered vehicles, and pedestrian deaths had skyrocketed. PSAs against jaywalking were broadcasted.
What happened? Just a man crossing against the light. It happens every minute. Here's somebody else setting himself up for the same kind of an accident. He's in a hurry. The road looks pretty clear. This could happen to you anytime. Don't take foolish chances. Don't jaywalk. Don't cross against a don't walk sign. You could be killed that way. Don't cross against a red light. That caused nearly 3,000 casualties last year. Don't cross between parked cars in the middle of the block. That killed more pedestrians last year than any other type of traffic accident.
Then, in 1958, the city introduced its first jaywalking statute.
New York's battle-hardened pedestrians didn't take it seriously until the cops started handing out tickets. Tell it to the judge, pal.
Jaywalking is now against the law. Remember, cross at the green, not in between.
The channel Steven Sanders released a video a few days prior to my recording of this episode. The video features body cam footage from Deputy Lowry at a fatal accident.
You know who it is? Never seen her? Oh, Orange City they take people out? Yeah. They hit another one? Happened anyway. I mean, fuck, these motherfuckers.
Traffic bills.
Dumb motherfucker.
I just hopped out. Yeah, that's what I did once in my car.
No, we don't know her. Oh. She's right there, though.
No, I mean, I figured that. Do we know what happened?
Damn. Yeah, she walked out in front of him.
Damn.
Man, she ate that motherfucker.
How old is she?
I don't know.
Are you rolling?
Brown, did you see her? Did you see her?
Yeah.
There's the money right there. Is it a white girl?
Yeah. She don't look familiar, though.
What the fuck, man? These dumb motherfuckers. Oh, you know what? Homegirl got me.
She got hit back there.
Bro, she got fucking blasted.
Allen filed a complaint against the deputy, but the department found no wrongdoing. However, his behavior with twisted luck and reluctance to talk about the incident suggests that he may have had at least a strong talking to.
You understand the crosswalk laws, right?
Do you have a specific question for me? Because I don't want to engage you in it.
Well, yeah. Well, would I have to use a crosswalk to cross the street right here?
I know why you're asking me this.
Alan has reached out to a few attorneys but has been unsuccessful in finding representation because he wasn't injured. If you or someone you know can help, please email me directly and let me know what you think of this interaction. Do you think it's acceptable for a deputy with as much experience as Lowry to not know the statutes he was hired to enforce? How much leniency would you be granted for ignorance of the law? If you enjoy my work, let me know by hitting the like button and sharing it with those closest to you. And as always, check out another episode linked on screen.